A very warm welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I hope you all are doing good. This is Prashant Mauni, and I welcome all of you. Dear friends, first of all, let me thank all of you for making this comment section more, or you can say this platform more interactive, right? Many of you have decided that now you will actively participate in answer writing, and this is a good thing. I must say that within a couple of weeks or months, it all depends how much you are putting yourself in it, but certainly you will see some positive results. With this, dear friends, identify the person that you can see on your screen. Give the name as well as the work that is been done, or his post, or whatever work he does. With this, dear friends, I would like to inform all of you that at present up to 35% off is available on the pen drive and tablet courses that are offered by StudyIQ. Dear friends, you have a very limited period in your hand, so if you haven't got it yet, I would recommend all of you to do it as soon as possible. To know more about it, just check out StudyIQ.com. Just in case if you have any queries, you have chat support available on it, and you can always give us a call on the numbers that you can see on your screen. Now, dear friends, we are having two news pertaining to women's world, right? And the first one is, of course, a positive one, and when I say positive, I mean to say that our Indian boxer Mary Kom, she has got gold at Asian Confederation Women's Boxing Championship. So from the whole StudyIQ team, right, from the StudyIQ family, which includes all of you, I would like to say a very congratulations, best wishes for Mary Kom. Now the thing is, dear friends, see, yesterday we were talking about working women and the challenges that are faced by working women. Now when we think about the work of Mary Kom, she is a boxer, isn't it? And being a boxer, her main job is to ensure that she is physically fit. She has to do lots of training and things like that. I'm sure you might have seen many of training sort of movies and scenes in many other movies and on YouTube and other platforms. So you know what training I'm talking about, right? You have to work out for the longest hour, you have to practice, and you have to ensure that your diet and everything is up to the mark. Now the thing is, dear friends, that when we talk about working women in our country, we know that generally we take the women who are doing jobs in, say for example, in bank or as an IAS or any other sector, right? She could be working in a retail store or any other jobs, right? Of course, they do face lots of challenges, and there are many reasons as well, because there are many reasons why they face, the women in our country, working women in particular, they face many challenges. But when we think about a lady like Mary Kom, right, you can imagine her job would be, or her work would be, a bit more challenging compared to the other women. The thing is, I'm sure many of you might have watched this movie called Dangal, right? A very good movie, no doubt, and it got a bit hit in China as well. In fact, President Xi Jinping mentioned about Dangal in BRICS summit. Anyways, you know, when we talk about sports, we see one thing in our country, that first of all, sports itself is considered as a sort of you can say dangerous choice for career, right? Apart from cricket, and even in cricket as well, you have only 11 players, isn't it, that they can play for the national team. But there are many other, like you can play Ranji, and there are different levels. But anyways, apart from cricket, not that much importance is not given to other sports. When I'm saying it, you know that I'm, of course, generally speaking, we hardly know about, right? I'm not saying that I'm not taking everyone here, but generally speaking, majority of people won't be knowing who is our badminton player and who is our tennis table tennis player and other players. So you can understand that sports is something we have talked about this thing, so I'm not going into detail. I'm sure you know many things about it. But when it comes to, say for example, whenever even if you select a sport, right, as your career, then the other challenge is male and female challenge, isn't it? Of course, men do get some sort of advantage from society as well, but when it comes to female, and particularly sports like boxing or sports like wrestling, which are considered, right, they are perceived and considered that This sports can be played only by men. Women cannot play this because of various stereotypical reasons, but that is not factually right at all. Mary Kom has proved it. There are many other women as well, they have proved it. So this thing is invalid anyways. So we see there are these types of challenges, and when I was talking about that Mary Kom faces a bit more difficult life compared to other working women, because first of all, right, yes, she is a mother of 3 beautiful children. The other thing is that because of her passion for boxing, right, she has to keep herself, of course, physically very fit, right, on all 3 different levels. She has to ensure a fine balance. So physically she has to be very fit. Now I'm sure you also know this thing that once you enter a sport, then physical, of course, being physically fit is very important, but then you find that it is not just physical, it's your mental balance as well. If you are not mentally fit, and if you are not mentally and physically fit, then you won't be able to go ahead. And the third thing is emotional level, right, on all these 3 different levels, because she is mother of 3, and of course she has to provide all this tender loving care to the children and the family. So in this context, when you are going through all these challenges, when money is also a problem, when you started this boxing, then you have to travel quite far for your training and things like that, and you have to look after your children and all these things. So when you get gold, right, so you can understand that this gold is not just a gold, right, it is the finest gold that can ever be achieved by any person. So again, hats off to Mary Kom. Moving on to another item, and this is about women power and science. The picture that you can see here is from 1911, and it is from Belgium, right? So dear friends, I'm sure that when I said Belgium, many of you might have got a sort of picture might have popped up in your mind. It could be from PK movie, it could be from the map that we have gone through yesterday. But anyways, as you can see that there is a league of gentlemen, you can say, right? There are so many people here, and I must say that all of them have got Nobel Prize. But the rare thing is that I'm not sure whether you have spotted it or not. Here you can see only one lady, right? She's the only one here, and her name is Marie Curie. I'm sure you might have heard about her somewhere at some point of time. Marie Curie is one of the rare successful women we have ever seen. Yesterday was her birthday, and yesterday was 150th birth anniversary of Marie Curie and Madame Marie Curie, and I'll leave the year for you to calculate. With this, dear friends, when I said that she is rare, you can understand this rare, you can understand her, or her, you can say the outstanding thing about her is that she was the first woman. In 1903, she became the first woman to get Nobel Prize. In 1906, she became the first woman professor in Sorbonne University in Paris, and in 1911, right, she became the first person, not woman, but the first person in this world to get 2 Nobel Prizes in a lifetime. So now when we say that she is rare, she is a perfect example of this rarity. Now the thing is, dear friends, it has been more than 100 years since Marie Curie has achieved she has achieved this Nobel Prize, of course, and the work she has done, or the contributions she has done in the field of science and technology. And today we are going to focus on the things, right? We were talking about this working woman, and when we talk about development of our country, and you find this sort of questions every year in your mains examination, you could be asked about your in interview as well, in personality test, you could be asked about how we can develop. And I'm sure many students would say that we need to get rid of this NPAs, non-performing assets, and we need to inject more money, industry, and all these things. These are all right answers. I'm not saying that they are wrong answers, right? But these answers would be repeated by many people, isn't it? But if you can stand out, if you can provide something that is logical, that is valid, right, it is true, but it is different from the answers that are being provided by general masses. So if if you can argue, say for example, if you say that more participation of women, or the 50% roughly speaking population of our country is women, and we know it very well that we are not utilizing their potential up to its max, and this is one of the reasons as well why we are not able to see ourselves in a league of a developed countries. Because you can imagine that this example, we use it many times in Indian families, that when we compare Indian families or Indian family with Western families, when American and other country families, then we say that over there everyone works, isn't it? We use this terminology or this sentence like everyone is earning over there. That is the reason why they are having a sort of high living standard compared to our families. Because in India, generally speaking, in many pockets it is still prevalent today as well, or you can say in majority of area it is prevalent that it is only the man who is the breadwinner, right? The woman is generally speaking looking after the house, which is not bad at all. I'm not saying that housekeeping is bad, not at all. It is a very important thing, but there are many other things as well. With housekeeping, there could be many things in this age of internet. She can do many things from the home, just in case if she decides to pass her life, or you can say if she decides to be a housewife, then as well she can add to the economy directly and indirectly. So these are the things, and you can see here that since Madame Marie Curie, not many women have achieved, or you can say they have reached this level of Nobel Prize. And it's not because the women lot are having any sort of they don't have that capacity or things like that. It is because generally speaking we see that they are not provided with that much opportunities, and this is happening throughout the world. Recently we had gender gap, right? Global gender gap index. It's a special video lecture available on StudyIQ YouTube channel, so if you want to know more about it, just help yourself with it. A very interesting one. Facts and figures are provided over there, and it has been delivered by me. So if you like my way of teaching, then you will find it quite interesting as well. Anyways, dear friends, the current situation, if we go through our country, India, then we find that all the IITs, right, Indian Institutes of Technology, only about 10% are women. So this is a very sad thing, isn't it? We have roughly speaking 50% population, but when it comes to higher education, IITs and other higher educations, when we talk about PhDs and postdoctoral research, then this number is in single digits. So this is a very sad scenario. Apart from that, when it comes to when you see a graph on one side, you find that more and more girls are enrolling in higher education like colleges and universities. But when you compare this thing with the labor force, then you find that after finishing their graduation or post-graduation, most of the women are not working in the field, right? They are not joining as a workforce, and this is again, you can say, capping their talent. The other thing is there are deep-seated bias as well, stereotypes and prejudices against women, and it is very sad to know that Nobel Prize winning biochemist Tim Hunt, at that point of time, many years ago, he said that he commented that the trouble with girls is that they cause men to fall in love with them and cry when they are criticized. This is a very, you can say, a very negative comment or a negative perspective when it comes to women. This is certainly not right. Crying is something that has been imposed on people, right? It is believed, or you can say it is a misinformation. Crying is an emotion, right? When someone is crying, it is a pure emotional thing. It is same thing if you are laughing, if you laugh, right, that is again a sort of emotional thing. And in the opposite thing, crying is something emotional. So if the society is telling you not to cry and things like that, if you are a man you should not cry, then hey, when you were a child you used to cry. So there is something this is a natural system, right? You are born with this thing, but when this sort of societal pressure keeps or creates this sort of misconception. Anyways, dear friends, recently there was also this year there was a sad incident that a PhD scholar from IIT Delhi committed suicide, and because her in-laws and husband, they were asking for dowry. And the sad thing is that even her father said that if rather than investing or spending money after her education, I should have kept that money on the side so that I could have paid her dowry. So this is a situation in our society, and if we go through these figures as well, International Labor Organization and World Bank, then our score is very bad. Out of 131 countries, we are at 120th rank, which is very bad. And to change this scenario, of course, society has to change. Without social reforms, we are not going to see any change. We have laws, anti-dowry laws. We can allot more seats for women in universities and college, but until and unless changes are not taking place at individual level, at family level, societal level, and then comes government and other things. With this, dear friends, Prime Minister has congratulated people of Chennai, and the whole StudyIQ family as well congratulates all those aspirants and people of Chennai for UNESCO Creative Cities Network. It is included in this UNESCO network, and because of rich musical tradition, you know it very well that Ilayaraja and A.R. Rahman, they are all gift from, this people are gift from Chennai, and there are many others as well, no doubt. With this, dear friends, Britain's Prince Charles has just arrived in India, right, and they are here for 2 days. He's accompanied by his missus, and they are going to give $10 million education development impact bond for India for the development of education in our country, of course. And I must say that Britain is a country that contributes in terms of charity. They provide a huge amount of charity for the development of our country. Anyways, with this, dear friends, I have a question from UK for you, as the Prince is here. You find many terminologies, Prince of Wales and things like that. So do let me know. Name the countries that are part of United Kingdom. Name the driest place on the planet Earth. And recently a banana species has been found from Andaman and Nicobar. So name that species. With this, dear friends, don't forget to check out StudyIQ.com for this up to 35% off. And don't forget to subscribe, share, pass your valuable comments and answer. And do give us a like if you have learned something from this video. With this, I'm signing off. I'll see you all soon. Jai Hind.